Welcome to the Perfect Pathy Grapple Guide, where you're going to learn everything you need to know from going to be a Pathy 0 to a Pathy Pro. Let's get started. Pathfinder's range is 20 meters, which is approximately right about here. If you're looking at this rock here in the firing range, then, you can be at this sand and you can launch it that far to hit your grapple, which is a pretty large distance. People who are new to Pathfinder often struggle with the grapple with the ground. So you can get height and go around somebody or around an object up and over from flat ground. The secret to doing that is to understand the mechanics of the grapple. So if you think about how a grapple would actually work in real life, right? He's gonna launch this little claw machine at whatever you're aiming at. That's going to grab it, take hold, and then you're going to thrust towards that object. That's what gives you the speed. If you notice, there's that moment where it hits the ground and then you are pulled towards it. Now, in order to get the height, you need to use that one little moment to your advantage. So you're going to launch your grapple, and as soon as it grabs the object you want to jump, that will maximize the air time that you get with the grapple. It's going to be tricky the first couple times that you try it, and then as you're grappling onto different things, it's going to be slightly different, but that's how you want to time it. You can also, the way that I like to do it is to use the sound cues that are available so that you have the launch of the grapple, and then you also have the activation of the grapple head. So after you jump and you're able to get the height, you've got to keep in mind that his grapple will not break as long as you're looking at it, and as long as you don't break line of sight. For example, if you are grappling around one of these mountain things, one of these rock structures up here, then like if you grapple on this side and you try to spin around it, it's gonna break because it's on the other side. So if you can imagine, it's kind of like realistic, I grappled on the other side, the rope hit around this corner, and wasn't able to be maintained. So it breaks away and comes back to me. So in order to hold on to it, there's a couple ways you can get around that. Basically, you just want to keep line of sight enough. Maybe by shooting at the top, I got a lot longer before I made it over to this other side, and then that broke and took me down. Another trick with Pathfinder and the grapple is that you can grapple to zip lines. So you can actually add your own grapple point if you need one. And this gives you a lot more flexibility. A lot of people don't use this enough, but now I have a zip line up there that I can just grapple around and make all kinds of plays because it's up there and allows me to access it. Whereas without this zip line, I'm really kind of limited to shooting it at the ground or grabbing onto like these rocks, nothing that's really high up in the air. But this gives me a lot of options and is really hard to break because the zip line is so thin. So I can do lots and lots of loop-de-loops and go around and around as much as I want on that zip line. And you can also put zip lines vertical to get something there so you can swing around that axis point, and it can really open up the game for you. So keep that in mind. It's really, really cool, in my opinion. You can launch it from building to building and then grapple from there. It's just always there. You can even just use it to get height. You can land back on it. I mean, it really increases your mobility with this character, which, that's Pathfinder's specialty, right? So keep that in mind. The zipline grapple is a game changer. Similar to getting height, you can also swing wide with a grapple with the same technique. Basically, you're going to launch your grapple and then start running the direction that you want to swing wide. Also, as soon as it hits, you're going to jump for the height and then air strafe the direction that you're trying to go. This is going to let you get that wide swing that you see so you can really clear objects. And of course, all of this is going to come down to practice because you can change the amount of air strafe that you do. You can change the amount of running that you do, the angle, the jump, the timing, so that you can do more and more advanced grapples the more that you're working on it. One other thing to keep in mind, especially while you're practicing, is to try and have a goal with the grapple. Like if you wanted to get up there, for example, then you want to be thinking about the best way to get up there. You could try and grapple this way and swing around. You could try and grapple this way and swing around that way. You could just run straight underneath it and grapple all the way up and then break and be up here. And just think about actually getting to your target. Because the grapple should not really be used all willy-nilly. I mean, I do use it a lot to get around, don't get me wrong. Like, I am not afraid to use the grapple because it's amazing. But think about where you're trying to go and why and how. Like, how are you actually going to get there? Especially, like I said, when you're practicing. A good exercise that I like to do in the firing range, start over here with a close range weapon. Try and get the grapple launch, the air, come right at the guy and be aggressive. Finish him off. And then just keep on working on that with all these different dummies. You can do one that way. You can do the one this way. You can also start from a different area, perhaps back here, where you know where you're trying to go. Again, boom, right in front of him, right? Practice intentional grapples. It's going to make such a big difference when you go to grapple in an actual game. Because instead of just launching at the nearest thing you see, you can try to think about where you're going to end up and how that's going to play out. You know, if you're going to get the high ground, are you going to swing left? Are you going to swing right? Are you going to go straight at it? Are you going to try and just get some height? You know, because once you get up there, you have options. You can air strafe either way. Like, now that you know you kind of have some control, you got to be thinking about these kind of things. Hey, so there you have it. There's the perfect Pathy grapple guide. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch it. If you're still here, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with your favorite Pathfinder tip, or maybe something that I missed if you think that this could have been just a little bit more perfect. I appreciate the support, and of course, I'll see you in the next one.